Hey guys, I'm back. I know it's only been a few days and I'm already making another video, but I wanted to actually make a video on a topic related to paganism, and I'm kind of in the mood to make a video, and I thought if I didn't take advantage of it, it wouldn't get done before I left. But before I get to the topic for today, I wanted to add another update that I didn't add in the last video because it just happened yesterday. I have decided to split my Facebook accounts. I have one under my real name, and I'd been adding people from YouTube that I'd talked to a lot to that account, and people from other online pagan sites that I was actually friends with. But I've decided to create a YouTube account under the name Ashlyn Brigid, which you can also find by searching for Fleur Delacroix. So anyone from anyone from YouTube or any pagan sites that I'm a member of can add me on that account because it's a safe account. There's no personal information. My other account had my cell phone number and stuff like that. It just didn't feel as safe to me, and I'm kind of paranoid about the internet sometimes. That's why I only do videos inside my house. But yeah, so that's my paranoia. But if you want to add me on Facebook, you can stay up to date on all of the projects I'm working on. I know sometimes I'm a little scattered and I'll post about one project only in one place and tell you guys about them and then forget to update you on what's going on. But I will update that profile as much as humanly possible. I'll also be putting good resources that I find on there so that you guys will have them, like good websites, books as I read them if I don't feel like doing an entire review video, things like that. I already have a link to a really great podcast up, and I'm hoping to work on that profile a little bit maybe tomorrow after my student leaves and put some other links and stuff up there. So add me if you want. It's cool. So today, the topic I wanted to talk to you guys about was the younger, middle, and higher selves. And I've been promising to make this video for quite a while, and I'm just now getting around to it, so I'm sorry about that. But I was kind of wondering what I was going to say, and I had to write a mini essay about the younger, middle, and higher selves a few months ago, I guess, when I taught a workshop on ritual construction and ritual performance. So I'm going to kind of draw a lot of that off of that essay, so if you were one of the people in that workshop, this video might seem kind of redundant to you, so sorry about that. But the younger, middle, and higher selves have a lot to do with psychology because religion itself has a lot to do with psychology. Because if you look at it, ritual is all about appealing to certain parts of ourselves. It's about eliciting certain emotions within us. It's about dealing with our complex human problems on a religious scale. So that is a major psychological part of religion, but all of religion is psychological. And that's why I wrote that essay for the ritual workshop that I was leading. But I wanted to kind of explain the basics of what the younger, middle, and higher selves are in as little time as YouTube allows. So this is going to be a major crash course. They're called different things depending on what you're reading. The most common I've found is the younger, middle, and higher self, followed probably by the subconscious, conscious, and superconscious. And then Freud's id, ego, and superego, which I have problems with just because of the wording he used. They do fit, like, the id, ego, and superego do fit very well with the definitions of the younger, middle, and higher selves, but some of the things he said about certain parts of the self not having a conscience don't really sit well with me because it seems very... It doesn't seem to fit very well into a pagan ideology, I think, and a few other things that he said about the different parts of the self and kind of how he judged them when he was writing about them. But I kind of have some issues with Freud anyway, like a lot of people do. But they're also the three parts of the self are also called the lower self, talking head, and god or goddess self. So you might see that one, but that one is very rare. I've only seen it like once. So those are the most common ones that you're going to find. The reason we work with the younger, middle, and higher selves is because it's important to learn about and to analyze how the different parts of us work together or don't. Because a lot of people, sorry, everyone has issues with communication between the selves. No one is born just being able to work perfectly. Well, we're born that way, but through issues we have in our development, our own personalities, and with everyday issues, that connection is severed. And it's up to us to build it again so that we can fully understand our own wants and needs and desires, so that we can work magically, we can be fully rounded spiritual beings, etc. And the reason it's so difficult is because the three selves speak different languages. The middle self is our mundane awareness. It's me talking to you right now. It's you going about your daily life at work or on the bus or in school. It's also called the conscious specifically for that reason. It's how we think. It speaks a completely different language than the other two selves. The other two selves, they speak in a language of symbols, and that's why we work with correspondences in ritual and in magic, to appeal to those other parts of the self and bring them together to be unified in the goal that we're trying to achieve. But because the other selves speak a language of symbols, it's sometimes difficult for the middle self to analyze those symbols and figure out what the other parts of the selves are trying to say, or even recognize that they're trying to speak to the middle self. They speak through dreams, through meditation, through visualization, through any sort of work that you do where you are not in a conscious state, where your state is altered, whether purposefully or not. And that's why hypnosis is so effective as well, on a psychological level. The younger self is basically the id. It's the parts of yourself that want things, that desire things, whether that's sex or just to have fun and to be yourself, but it's suppressed by the middle self that knows what's socially appropriate. Your id might want to go have sex in the street or something, and your middle self says, no, that's not appropriate, I'll get arrested. And through that process, you harm the younger self because you're denying it what it wants. And that relationship over time, through repression of sexual wants, through denial of fun and childhood dreams and things like that, it severs that relationship between the middle and the younger self. And it's up to us to rebuild that, to kind of get in touch with our inner child, if you will, to become sexual beings and be okay with that. It's vital in a fertility religion that we recognize the sexuality within ourselves. And through not doing that, we're harming ourselves. According to the sources I used in my essay, Freud said that of the younger self, that it is responsible for our primary drives: water, food, sex, and basic impulses. According to him, it is amoral, illogical, and selfish. I think that started the issues I have with Freud. Those are all really judgmental words. It also says that the younger self's perception and knowledge of reality is direct, unbiased, and literal. It has no framework for preconceived ideas, social taboos, or learned constraints. And those are all really important things to remember when working with the younger self. If you say something, it's going to be taken very literally by the younger self. If you do something, again, literal. So while you're using all this flowery language to appeal to the higher self, you need to keep the younger self in mind and actually be saying what you mean, and not kind of skirting around it just to sound pretty.